Cool. So excited about that. We'll see what happens. But we've got, I don't know if it's better half or other half or better surfer half of the Francisco and Christo partnership. Christo's an ex-pro surfer and he's sort of diluted how awesome he is at surfing. I probably shouldn't even go there. Who doesn't surf in the room? Yeah, they say you should never ever talk about something that most people don't do. So I've just lost 3/4 of the room, but Christo's actually an amazing athlete. To be an amazing athlete or amazing at anything, I think you'd agree takes a lot of discipline, doesn't it? Like Johnny Vines, he's our state wakeboard champion. Yeah, a round of applause for Johnny Vines. That's, and came 5th at the Nationals. But it takes discipline, doesn't it, right? Just like business does. So Christo's the other half of the marketing partnership in Basic Bananas. Co-author of the book Bananas About Marketing, and his amazing ability to spot and leverage and add millions to bottom lines of his clients. So I think we're going to really enjoy this. Here's the other half of the Basic Bananas team. So stand up and a big round of applause for Christo, please.
Thank you. Nice. Oh, look at that happens as well. Have that kind of impact on the room. Glass breaks. Well, hello again. Who here in the room? Who in the room would like a pay rise? Anyone not? No, you're pretty okay. Excellent. This is good. Hopefully, this will be part of my goal of what I'll be doing with you guys is to get you to. I'm going to show you some things that have given a bunch of our clients a pay rise, which is pretty cool. Who here has? I know, like Francisca said it the other way around, but who has competition in their market? Hands up. Everyone, right? Everyone put your bloody hand up if you haven't got it up. So we all have competition, right? Everybody's got competition in their market. The latest stats in the marketing world, well, according to, and I haven't tested this myself by counting every bit of marketing I see, but according to marketing media and so on, they say the average Australian sees 2,000 pieces of marketing every single day. 2,000. Plus you've all just said you've got competition. So why on earth would your prospects pay attention to you? Why are they going to look at you and think, oh yeah, well, that stands out. I really like work with that. It's not like people are out there looking for marketing material, right? Does everyone agree with that? I'll ask you this way. Who here gets on the internet and they kind of like jump on with something to do and you jump on your computer, on your laptop or whatever, and you just hope some pop-ups just pop up in front of you, and who does that? Who hopes for that? You hope for it? No, you're just well-trained. You just put your hand up. We don't do it, right? That's kind of annoys us. It's cluttering us. Or like we go and get the newspaper. I'm going to go buy a newspaper because there could be some pretty good ads in there today. I might go and browse to see if there's some decent ads. Have a look through the ads. It doesn't really happen, right? We need our marketing to cut through the clutter. It's like we're an itty-bitty little voice in a very cluttered space, like a crowded space. What I'm going to go through with you guys is, because we are this itty-bitty little voice and we need to try and cut through the clutter, like we need to stand out. We need to get the attention of the right people. Otherwise, it's impossible. It's going to be extremely hard work. So what I'm going to go through some online marketing stuff. It's going to be a mixture of, there can be online and offline, but I'll show you some exact things we've done with ourselves. We run this in our business day in, day out. It works like an amazing little machine for us. Also for heaps of clients for us, we've applied these same things. What I do ask first, though, is can we all have an open mind? Is it okay? Who here's seen the Jim Carrey movie Yes Man? Who's seen that? Hands up. Very good. First thing, stop watching ridiculous bloody movies and focus on your marketing. No, it's not the. This Jim Carrey movie Yes Man. Jim Carrey plays the main character, and he ends up, he's this really uptight kind of reserved guy, and he works in the corporate space, in the corporate world, and he kind of gets all depressed and he kind of hates his life and he gets all down and so on, and he goes and sees this guru kind of mentor guy, and the guru kind of mentor guy says to him, you're blocking everything out in your life, so you're not experiencing new things. We're blocking things out, so we're not getting new results, so his world's shrinking. So the guru mentor guy says to him, from this moment forwards, you have to say yes to absolutely everything that's asked of you from this second forward. Jim ends up on this, well, whatever his character's name is, he ends up on this crazy adventure and falling in love and da-da-da-da-da. You don't have to see the movie. It's a good way to evaporate an hour and a half of your life. However, the message is quite cool, because is it fair enough to say, like, our results, whatever we're achieving right now in our business, even like a bank account or whatever it is, as a result of all of the actions we've taken up until this moment in time. Fair enough to say? Yes, common sense, right? So if we want to get to new heights, we might have to try on some new things. Fair enough to say? Cool. The reason I do this is because sometimes especially when I do online type stuff, it's easy to sit there and just go, well, over my head. I don't get it. You know, it's a bit confusing. Oh, no, not interested. And the reason we like associating with small business owners like you guys is you can make decisions and you can move quickly. So we see great strategies sometimes, and we're like, hey, look, let's do this. It's an amazing opportunity for you. Just do it. And then someone might say, oh, yeah, but I'm not the technical kind. And then it's like, oh, come on. Or, okay for you banana guys, but we're professionals. You know, and so it's about just maybe being open to trying on some new things. So is it okay while we're in the room here, at least just for my presentation, you can do it for the whole rest of the day, if we're all yes men and women while we're in the room, is that okay? Yes. Oh, very good. And is it okay if I squeeze as much as I possibly can into this time that I'm with you guys right here, right now? However, if I move over something too fast and you're not sure what I was going on about, that you put your hand up. I have a very simple goal. It's for you guys to, you know, go to the next break or whatever and go, wow, that was amazing. I got a hell of a lot of value out of it. The whole event was amazing. My goal is very simple. It's just to give you as much value as possible. So if I go over something too quickly and you're not sure what I was going on about or a word I said or something, you let me know. We just have very open communication. Is that cool? Yes. Very good. Is it okay if we have a itty bit of fun as we go? Oh, very good. Do you guys want fun down the back? I didn't. Yes? Okay. Otherwise, I was going to keep the fun on this kind of area. That's good. Okay, we got fun. And is it okay, based on the fact that we get to see, we've worked with thousands of different business owners. We're very privileged, and I'm honoured to work in the space we work. The simple fact is we get exposure to businesses and see what's working and what's not. Like, we simply have exposure to it. And so I see, wow, all these guys thriving and what's going on. Based on that exposure and the experience we have due to that, is it okay if I keep it very real and honest while we're in the room? Yes. Is that cool? Yes. Very good, because basically what I'm saying is I'm not going to give you any false hope. It's going to take a little bit of work to build these kind of systems. If you want false hope, you can get on the internet, you'll find a guru that'll promise you can make $1 million in your underpants overnight with their 3-step formula that's never made them any money except for selling the 3-step formula. They've never, you get it. So cool. Well, let's dig in. So, and what I like to do with our online marketing is what we'll do here in the room, because I don't just want you to walk away and go, wow, that was pretty cool stuff that he spoke about. I want you to walk out and go, I know what I'm going to do. I've got a plan here now from this. This is excellent. I don't want us to get too caught up on what kind of system do we use, what kind of program works in the background to make this thing operate. I want you to be like architects right now. This is where the real genius comes in. It's the architecture, the timing, the delivery of things, whatever system's behind it. We can use whatever we like. We can make it work. That's a process that it's do the steps. So is it cool if we're kind of like that architect-y space? Is that cool? All right. Cool. We do get exposure. Like some of my friends and that we work with, some of the guys regarded as like the best in the world in terms of online marketing. There's guys in America, like if we're going to speak to someone and do something like some form of, like say just Facebook ads just came to mind, I speak to Justin Brooke. He's one of the guys that's regarded as the best in the world. He's a friend of ours, an American guy, lives in Florida. We speak to him, we work out what's working, what's not. We want to learn from the best. So we have all these network. Now, these guys are doing what I'm about to show and go through as well. So sometimes the only time typically there'll be a little bit of a resistance with people is if they just can't be bothered, and it's like, is that really going to work? So have this open mind and the kind of can-do attitude, because this is kind of, some things which could be quite innovative for you, and hopefully some of you might look at it and go, yeah, I'm already doing that, and we take away the little gold nuggets to kind of help improve it. So I call it the online ecosystem, because what we want to create, who here finds online marketing a bit confusing, first of all? Who thinks it's pretty confusing? Yeah, thank you for your honesty, those with your hands up. I think probably just about everyone to some extent. It's like you'd like it to be performing better or doing a bit more for you. I know even myself, sometimes we'll do a strategy and I might be talking with one of our friends and I'll go, okay, look, let's do this thing. This is based on all the testing and things we've done. This will be amazing. Intuitively, this will be really good. And sometimes it's like, oh, it didn't really actually work out the way we thought. However, The cool thing with the whole online space is we can test absolutely everything we do. So we're testing and we're tracking, and so we always know, well, based on that and that, we know what are the results we can achieve with certain things. So it's really cool in that sense, you know, and you can take the model and you can apply it to another business, and you kind of got to mold things and mash them a little bit to make them fit, but that's what we'll be doing here in the room. So in your handouts, you should have a page that looks like that. What I would like you guys to do is basically to make any online marketing happen, we need to have a system for each one of these columns. So by a system, we need to know, we basically need a system to have for traffic, for leads, conversions, relationships, and reactivation. So I explain these, and what I want you to do as we do this in your notes is put in maybe what you're doing or what you could be doing. So I don't want you it's not just a sake of the exercise. It's basically what you could be doing in your own business, like what you could apply or what you are currently doing. So for example, in the first column, what I would like you to do is think about, let's break this into let's break it into two categories right now, actually. So say this is my first column here, so we've got the traffic. In this column, let's break this into paid and free. What are some examples of ways to get paid traffic online? You guys tell me. AdWords. Yep. So AdWords. What I'd like you to do in here too is you might write in, you might even go kind of like a section that's doing, ... and then you could say will be, ... and then you'll do the paid and the free thing again. So you can kind of break them into these sections, because I want you to really think about this. This stuff, like hopefully this stuff, it'll give you, can give you a bit of a boost. So, but we need a process basically to get traffic. So what are some other ways we can get paid traffic?
Facebook ads.
Yep, Facebook ads, very good. What else? Blogs, yep, it could be like I guess blogs can be both paid and free, because it could be like a blog that you've paid to pop on someone else's. Directories could be as well. They can be paid, they can also be free as well. What are some examples of free? Facebook once again. SEO, which in case you're wondering what on earth that means, SEO is a very, very broad term for absolutely anything we do online or on our website, which helps our website kind of rank higher. SEO, to help your website be found in Google. So it's a lot, it can be covered just about a lot of stuff, but that can also be paid as well, because you can pay people to do it. What else? What are some other free ways? YouTube, yep, I'll just say video. Video, there's a lot, right? Like Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Now, this I could go on for 2 weeks about creating a list here in terms of all the different traffic generation sources. However, that's not the point of this exercise. These things are all, this column, basically what I want you to think about is we need a system for traffic. We need a replicable, we need to know, once we work this out, because with each one of these columns, I want it to get to a point where the thing can run. It can run without you, basically. You with me? Like the whole point of a business that I see is you can scale up a business, you can grow it without scaling up your stress, without doing your head in, without scaling up your to-do list, because you're going to max out, you're going to cap out, you're going to hit a ceiling pretty quickly. So we need a system in place where we know that there's going to be traffic delivered over and over. This takes a little bit of work. I do say it's like getting a, like with everything I'm going to do, it'll make sense as I kind of go through the whole thing with you in more detail too. It's kind of like, I like to say it's like getting a jumbo jet off the ground. You know, when a jumbo jet takes off, it takes a lot of propulsion, it takes a lot of energy to get this thing off the ground. The pilots are paying attention. They're on the job. What happens when they get to cruising altitude? Autopilot. Whack it on autopilot. And now the thing just runs. So now it's cruising. They still monitor the controls, right? They don't just go off and have a nap and sort of shut the cockpit, no one in there. There's someone monitoring the controls. This is how it still works. We want to get to a point where you're monitoring your controls, where it's happening for you, but you don't have to do everything. It's not like everything has to pass through you. Because the problem if everything has to pass through you is you have limited capacity. You with me? you create a bottleneck by doing things like let's say someone says, you get an amazing idea here today and you think, oh, that's right, I'm going to go off and do that thing. And it might be like any example. Let's just say someone went through blogging or like any example or placing this ad in the paper or whatever it is. And you go, all right, I'm going to go and do this thing. Here we go. I'm going to blog for my business now. I'm not a writer. I've never written a blog. I've got no bloody idea how to write a blog, but now I'm going to blog for my business. And then you start thinking, uh-oh, I've got to do all these other things. I'll quickly research what a blog is. Ring, the phone rings. Oh, wait a sec. I better stop that for a second. And I'll come over here and I'll answer that phone for a second. And then, that's right, so I'm going back to the blog. And then you've got your other to-do list. Basically, while you're doing the blog, everything else is stopping if we don't have a system. It's like everything else pause for a moment because this is occupied. It has limited capacity. Even with your body, you know, we've got limited time. We've got, like, if you're going networking or something, there's limited time you can use this thing. Who thinks they could be a little bit, like this is a little bit of an honesty test for you, who thinks they could be a little bit of a bottleneck sometimes in their own business? Thank you for your honesty. Look at that, pretty much everyone in the room. It's funny, isn't it? It's interesting for everyone to see. Now, the reality of this is, what we need to do is, we create a system like we're going to map out here. We create a system that can run on autopilot, so if you're away on holidays, the business is still running. If you're grumpy and you don't want to speak to anyone, there's still sales happening at the end of the day, or they happen if it's automated online. It's still happening for you. You know, it doesn't matter. Or if you're working with a client, you're a consultant, sometimes we often see people, they work with a client and then they get to the end of the contract and then it's like, oh no, now I need to find some new clients, but I don't have income coming in from that client anymore, and now I'm in a catch-22. I need a market, but I don't have money to market, and it's like this situation. So what we want to create, it's almost like an engine where we figure out if we put this in here, we're going to get this out here. It might be that you put in time or money, you have to spend something. This is a bit of a reality for you too. We have to spend, like it's whether it's time or it's time and energy or money to ramp things up. And then you might, if it's time because you're strapped for cash, you invest time, things start to crank up in the business, you start to make more money, and then you invest money because your time becomes more scarce. But we have to build a little bit of an engine like this. Cool? So traffic is the first thing we need. The purpose of traffic, what is traffic? You guys tell me actually. Should have clarified that, shouldn't I? Customers. It's not even customers yet. It's like potential customers, interested. It's people looking at your stuff. It's eyeballs looking at your stuff. That's the very official term for it. No, it's people's eyeballs, hopefully the right kind of eyeballs looking at your stuff. So it's eyeballs looking at your stuff. Now, the way that we move them to, what we want to move them to, potentially our traffic is, so this is kind of like your column, the next column where we have leads, is from time to time, we need to move the traffic somewhere. Usually 99.9% of the time for you guys, it's going to be your website. So the purpose of this column, if you're posting away on Facebook and you're building a bit of a community and you're getting a few more likes, you want to make a sale from time to time, we have to move them to somewhere they can buy. Put them in front of a product. We have to. If you post up the latest pair of sunglasses here that you sell on social media or on an ad or something like that, where should you send them to on your website? That exact sunglass page. Yes, exactly. The exact thing that you've posted. It's all about relevancy online. We do a lot of tests, like on all of our workshops. Last year, for one of our workshops, we spent about $112,000 driving ads to that one page in ad spend. And I'm always running 2 pages, so the traffic split. I'm always split testing the traffic, working out what makes a slightly high registration versus a slightly lower. It only takes a little difference and we get a really big pay rise with this stuff. Like I'll give you an example. There's 2 different videos and the headline with a little tweaks. We got about 5% increase in registrations. Might not sound like a lot. We drive a few thousand people to that page every single month. So even if we only drove 1,000 people to that page every month, bear with me, that's 50 extra registrations we get every single month. That's 600 people over the year. It's a massive shift. I'm always split testing what works, what doesn't work, what makes people buy, what makes them drop off. And I can tell you now, if you make people think for a millisecond when they arrive on your site, I clicked for the sunglasses and now where's the sunglasses? And there's these hats and these scarves or whatever it is, and I have to find them and I have to think for a millisecond, you probably just lost at least 50% of your revenue you could have got from that campaign. It's a huge drop off. So it's all, make it super relevant. Now, just to keep this relevant for everyone in the room as well, because we've got a range of different businesses, just think about your website. It's turning traffic to leads. So traffic is people looking at things. It's like traffic could be people walking past your store though. Like let's say they walk the foot traffic, that's traffic until they come in the door and they look at stuff. Now it could potentially convert into a sale. It's useless until they come in the door. The purpose of your website is to convert traffic into lead. It's to convert it to an inquiry or something you can follow up, some sort of relationship you can build. Cool? So for now, to keep it relevant for everyone, just think of it like stepping stones. It needs to be like a system. Hey, you're here. Are you this? You're looking for this, then do this. It's moving them and directing them to do something, whether it's buying, contacting you, registering, getting some free information, something to move forward. A good idea on a website is an opt-in. I know you hear a lot about opt-ins. I'll go through an opt-in in a moment. But basically an opt-in is like having some sort of free information on your site. Because typically a website will convert very poorly. It might only get 2% of all traffic that arrives on your site that actually say, hey, I'm on your website, I'd like to work with you. Like 2% you're doing pretty well if 2% contact you and say, I'd like to work. So if all the effort and everything you do here, and the reality is, this traffic column, it's not only things you do online. You should be clear on that. Absolutely everything you do will move people to your website. So for example, if I meet this lovely lady here, and I think, oh, she's really cool. I might work with her. She gives me her card. Where do I go to check her out? Website. I go straight online. So for her to get a better return on investment from this conversation, a higher ROI, return on investment from this time she's just spent here, the better her online marketing is, the better return she's going to get from this. From absolutely everything she does, it's going to move people to your website. Don't underestimate the importance of your online presence. It's because everybody's going to go there, no matter what it is. This is a talking conversation, and she's going to get a better return if the better her marketing is. So, if only 2% of everything she does get in contact or convert, we want to have, an opt-in is another way to do it, because typically it would go like this. Like someone might, let's say I get an idea and I want to buy something. Where do I go to get information? Google. We all go to Google. I Google, and I arrive on your website. Here I am. I'm on your site. I'm an interested person in buying from you. However, not right now. Or the phone rang. Or I could even buy it, but my wallet's over there, and maybe someone's commented on my Facebook post. I better go have a look. And I get distracted. And then 2 weeks goes by, and it's like, oh, that's right. I want to buy that thing or work with that person. Where do I go? Back to Google. I Google. Now, do I arrive on your website this time? Maybe, maybe not. What if it wasn't 2 weeks? What if it was a month? What if it was 2 months or 3 months? Who here's Googled something in the last 6 months that you haven't bought yet? Everybody put your hand up. All 10 fingers. We all have, right? We all have. So, the thing is, if I go away and I decide 3 months later, oh, that's right, I want to buy one of those things or work with one of those people or that consultant or whatever it is, and then I go back to Google, you've just lost out on that first thing you did to get me to your website. You spent, whether you like it or not, you outlaid something. You outlaid some time, some energy, some money, or whatever it was that got me there that first time. So you want to get a return on investment from that. An okay performing opt-in will get about 5%. So at least if you collect another 5% of all your traffic, so that if it takes me kind of like 6 months to decide to buy here, I'm still going to choose you. So having an opt-in, if you've collected my name and my email in return for some sort of information, that's what an opt-in is. It's like a free guide, a free checklist. Hey, you're going to buy a camera and you haven't got the faintest idea about megapixels or whatever it is, grab our free guide, whether you buy from us or anyone else. Grab it here. Suddenly you've just got all these people putting their detail in going, yeah, I'm interested in buying a camera, and if you sell cameras, whatever it is, we need to adapt it to your market. We've done cool opt-ins with restaurants and things as well, where we just did a free bottle of beer for a first-time buyer. People get this voucher. Where am I going to go? Where do I have to go to get the beer? I have to go to their restaurant. It drives them in. So this will get about another 5% of your traffic, whereas this, typically we might only get about 2% that actually register. So next thing we want to have in place is we need a process to encourage conversions. So in the conversion column, because typically most people, when they arrive on your stuff or they arrive on your site, they're hottest at this point in time. So they're hotter as soon as they arrive on your site, the majority, because they've just searched something or they've clicked something or they've typed something into Google that got them to your site, like you got me to your site. The majority of your market at this moment are hotter. It's like as time goes on, if their temperature's kind of like up here, as time goes on, their temperature's falling. If this is time, it's like their temperature's dropping. It's falling away. So we need a process in place right away to encourage conversions. Now this column it might be something like so in the conversions column, something like just some sort of offer. Sometimes it might be like some sort of offer, so like it could be a taste test, it could be a trial, it could be a sample, like some sort of sampley thing. It could be that you do like a mini consult or something, whatever fits for your business. The whole point of everything we're doing, and hopefully you kind of gather this from this, is it's like your purpose of your website, absolutely the purpose of absolutely everything you do in terms of marketing is to move people to somewhere. It's to always keep moving them, to move your market along. You with me? It's like your headline is to make them read the next line. The next line, next line, next line, then click this, like do this. It's to keep moving people. So what we want to do here, it doesn't have to be that they buy right away, but it's moving them towards a conversion. It's moving them towards a sale. You with me? We need something in place right away. So, hey, you just might have got this free thing or this free guide or whatever it was. Would you like to buy this? Put something in front of them. Hey, would you like to register for this? Would you like to buy? And this will map it out a bit more in a second too. Our next column, we need a process whether they buy or they don't for building relationships. How long do we build relationships? Ever. Till they buy or they die or whatever happens. That sounds horrible, doesn't it? Forever. We need a process in place to build relationships. So what are some ways you can nurture relationships with like a database with your contacts, with your prospects? You guys tell me. Membership? Yep. Could be a low-level membership or any sort of membership. What else? Newsletter. Very good. Cards. I like cards. Cards are offline, like post. Could even use this thing called the telephone. It's a good way to stay in touch as well. You can basically look to provide value. If you want to provide value, and it might even be through your blog or something like that, but we need a process in place where we maintain relationships forever and ever and ever. So that if I get that's right, I was like that person who was interested in buying that thing or whatever you sell 6 months down the track, but I Googled you ages ago so that if I get to the point where like 6 months later, it's like, oh, right, that's what I want to buy one of those things or work with those people, I know where to get it. This is what you want to happen. And then you're getting a return on the investment from that thing you did 6 months ago. But it all starts to snowball. So it's like, oh, that's right. I know where to get it, and I know how to find them. I know where they are because you're still in your prospect's mind. Make sense? In our last column, what we're putting in here is we want a process to reactivate. Basically because our market, like your contacts are going to sleep, basically. We want a process so if our relationship column is warm, keeps them a bit warmer because we stay in touch, keep ourselves front and center of mind, from time to time we want to spike their interest. So we create an offer, we create a special. I can tell you now as marketers, what we're doing all day, every day, we're creating offers. It's a Valentine's Day offer, it's a start of the year offer, it's an end of the year offer, it's a start of summer special, it's an end of summer special, it's a business's birthday, so we're doing a special. To any sake, you can just create a special and an offer. Are you with me? We want to prompt people and put deadlines on things, so we're creating these offers. So we've got to create an offer from time to time, and it will be a lot of the similar things that what you put in the conversions column. It might be like an offer, a taste, a sample, some free information, a free info night, whatever it is to get them hot again for you, to get them back. Cool? So we need all this in place. You guys at the moment, it's just thinking, what's our process for all of these? Typically, most people will think online marketing, or they'll look at online marketing and kind of think it starts and ends here. Because they tried Facebook ads, it drove some people to my site, but they didn't buy, so it doesn't really work. Who does this sound familiar to? Yes, thank you for your honesty. Because we need a system in place for all of this stuff. And then we start to recoup an investment. Because the reality is, you might be driving these hot people, but only you might get 2% that are actually interested in that moment. And we can tweak things in each of these columns. If we get a 5% or suddenly increase in each column, you can make a huge difference. So we need a system behind it. The system we use, you use any system you like, to be honest, but this is a database program that we use, because typically a lot of hands go up and say, what do you guys use? We use Entreport. SendPepper's just their like baby brother program, but you can use whatever you like. Infusionsoft's very popular too. We use that one. We know and love it. We've tested a hell of a lot because these kind of programs, they don't just do email marketing. You with me? If I could tell everybody one thing, and you know that guy, the sailing school guy Francisco mentioned before, he went from 1 boat to 35 boats in the first year he was working with us, to 35 boats, 2 locations. The guy said, one of the biggest things that allowed me to create this scale was having a system like this behind it. Because without it, it all falls on him. If it's like your emails are in your Outlook or whatever they're in, it gets hard. We need a database system where everything's managed and things can start to be automated. It doesn't just do email marketing, it does a whole lot of business automation, but I don't want to kind of, things will go over your head if we go too far into that. We need a program like this behind what we're doing. So you can write them down or check them out. So the 4 funnels I'm going to go through now, and these 4 funnels will serve you. First of all is an opt-in funnel. And basically what we're going to do, in your notes, you can jot down notes through what I'm doing here. Each of these funnels feeds to the next. It might take a little bit of work to build one, then the next, then the next, then the next. Or if you have some systems in place, it's worth reviewing them and just updating them and tweaking them. So basically, an opt-in funnel, like we just explained, people opt in, and then we need some things to happen. An opt-in funnel is pretty straightforward. It's the magic that happens as soon as they opt in after that, which I'm going to show you. It's the sequence of things that triggers once they opt into your website. That's where the magic happens. It's beautiful when you have people email you and say, yes, please. And you look at the email and you're like, what the hell are they talking about? And you scroll down and there was an automated email that went out to them, a whole trail of automated stuff that happened. And it said, would you like to book in for this or buy this? And they just said yes. And you've never even spoken to them. This is amazing. This is when you're like, oh my goodness, this is cool. Now we need to drive more traffic to it. Now we need to check the conversion costs. And that's when we just start pushing more into it. The opt-in funnel feeds to a nurture funnel. The nurture funnel is the way to stay in contact over a long period of time. That's our relationship steps. The reactivation funnel is the one where we said, we promote again, or it was the 5th column, where we reactivate. That's where we do, which you saw in the 5th column. It's like, what are the specials, the offers, the things that we're going to present? And I'll show you exactly. I'm going to give you the exact steps that we use to promote. And then we create a sales funnel. So it's not like someone buys, thank you for your money, who's next? That then goes into a sequence of things that happen to encourage referrals, to encourage upsells, and to encourage stick rate and repeat purchases. So I'll show you these funnels now. Does this sound good? Yeah. Is this valuable so far? Yeah. We good? Excellent, very good. Awesome, thank you. So the first thing we need is, and this is where the trigger point for the opt-in funnel. The trigger point for the opt-in funnel is, what's your little giveaway on the site? So I mentioned this before. It could be like it's a $25 voucher for a first-time buyer. It could be that it's a free bottle of beer. It's a free bottle of wine. It's 4 videos on how to maintain this. You might be a graphic designer, and it's a little guide on what colors mean in business. Here's what all the different colors mean in business so that you can work out what color you want your brand to represent, whatever it is. We need to think up some information. The clearer you are on your ideal clients, I'm sure you guys will do a lot on this, especially working in this environment. The clearer you are on your ideal clients, then you'll know what to give them. You got to think about what can we give them, and you give away. Because if you can give away some valuable information there, it's a good idea. Like if you're an accountant, here's some tax tips that could reduce your tax. Or here's a case study of a couple of things we did with a client that reduced tax by 10% or whatever it is in 30 days. Whatever it is. Something the more tangible, the better. So like we have an opt-in here. It gets like about 20 opt-ins a day. This is the homepage of our website. So we have a little marketing course that people can grab. It's like an online marketing course. They click it, it's free. Put in there, that one brings up a form on the next page. We also have another one. We have 2 because we want different options. We want to collect as many people as possible. A different option, 4 marketing strategies delivered to you in video right away. So people put their details in. Guess who puts their details in? Our market. The ones that we want to work with. It's our market. This thing is building up an audience for us every single day so that we don't have to advertise in the newspaper. We've got our audience. You with me? We don't have to blast it out to everyone and people who aren't potentially interested. We send an email because this thing's building a list every single day. Now, what it does right away from the opt-in is the opt-in, and I want you guys, you might just need to draw this for now. Draw this out because I'd really want you to get this. This is where the gold happens. It may look simple, it may look complex to some. The simple fact is, just do it, and then we can question it later. You can see how things are going and we can tweak. So the way it works is, this is the funnel. We have an opt-in on the site. The opt-in drives people to a thank you page. You know how it works? If you submit a form on a website, you press go, and it'll say, yep, you did it. The page changes. On that thank you page, you might want to draw it like this. Like, let's just say, we draw it like this. So for you guys, in your notes, you could go, here's opt-in form. I want you to write, what is it? Like, if you're just thinking, maybe it's a free guide for now, and it's something like that, because you can change this. You're not married to it. You can change it, and you can tweak things. You know, you're not stuck with it forever. So what's this thing we can give away on the site? What will happen next is it will send people to a thank you page. The thank you page is a page on the site straight away. On that page, we want to have so it'll be like, here is ... the thing that you've promised here, the free guide. Here's your free guide. What we also put on there is we say, I call it product A, just so it fits for everyone. Hey, if you'd like to take things further, or you'd like to, learn a bit more, this is in the column, remember the conversion column? We want to move them to something. So straight away, we put an offer in front of them. Put an offer right there. They've just said, I'm interested in what you do by opting in. They're your market. Now put something in front of them. If you have a best-selling product, just think, what's that? Put it there. If it's a bestseller, if you have an entry-level product that people buy most of the time, or a low-cost one, or whatever it is, put it there. If it's just like, if you need to speak to people, maybe it's a mini consult, but call it something valuable. Call the mini consult a discovery session, a 20-minute discovery session with me, book it in. Suddenly they're thinking, oh wow, I want this discovery session. You're on the other end of the phone going, well, that's a nice way to call my sales calls. I had to do that anyway. But now you give them a discovery session to just like discover your needs or what we can do for you. It could be something like that. So the thank you page, promote product A straight away. What happens after they complete this form? It will fire off some events. So it creates these email sequence. In email number 1, simply put the same as here. So email number 1 needs to be, thank you, here's the thing we promised, and product A. Product A in front of them. What we do next, email number 2, this one goes out. So that's immediately, the first email goes. You just need to bear with me. Is everyone cool? We're good? On email number 2, step number 2 is this bonus one. So bonus, we basically do this because you want to train people. Everything you send to people, you're training with them in what to expect from you. You with me? It's like every email you send, people are going to go, oh, that's the kind of emails they send. You send this super duper long, valuable email, I might look at it and I think, wow, that was really cool information. I haven't got time for it right now, though. I'll file that away. And then next time your next email comes, it's like, oh, I haven't even got to the last one yet, and I've got all these emails. I'll put it in that folder again. A year down the track, I'll just clean out the folder. You know, it never happens. Short, sharp, and to the point is key. So if we can provide a little bonus that was unexpected. Hey, as an added bonus, you just bought that bicycle from us. You can bring that in for a free service at 6 months. Absolutely free. Unexpected bonus. You with me? Or, hey, you just got this information. Here's a little bit of tip. It might be just a value add or a tip add. It's some sort of tip. I like little tips and information. Or you could get this voucher or some sort of special thing. But it's some sort of bonus that they didn't know about. Cool? Because what we're doing with this is we're building trust. Next step. So that will go on, so it's immediate here. This is on day 3. So you've given them a little bit of a break. There's a day 2 in between. They give them a break for a day, send it on day 3. The next one we go to is we send a frequently asked question. And this is just based on testing the hell out of these funnels. A frequently asked questions, FAQ, and this will go on day 5. So we've given them another day break again. Day 5, we send an FAQ if you have a bigger or a higher end product or just about working with you in general, because at this stage they haven't necessarily bought. You just send an FAQ. People love to read FAQs because it looks like somebody asked it. You're just asking. You can ask the questions that you know are the most common objections from your market. It's like if you know that price is a problem, people are always like, oh, I don't know if I want to work with you because of the price. Put that as, is this, what about the price? Is there something we could get, a cheaper option that would be just as good? Guess who scripts the answer? Then you know what you do if you want to be really smart. You put a PS down the bottom. People always love the PS. It's one of the most read parts of an email. In the PS, put a little testimonial. The testimonial, if you know the highest, most common objection that you have with your market, put in the PS a testimonial that someone speaks about price. I was concerned about the price. I wasn't sure about investing it. As a result of investing this, I've got the biggest return on investment I've ever had. I've stopped wasting money on this, on dodgy providers. I wish I found you 10 years ago. Love, John Smith. Everyone who has the same objection, they've just read through that. You're just building trust. Cool? Use the PS. FAQ, and then as you can see, then we move on. If you can move on to a story, it might not work for absolutely everyone, the story, but basically the story is that's when we do, here, hey, here's an example of someone who worked with us. Here's an example of a case study. Here's someone who did this, because people love to read it, and here's how they built their business to do this, or here's how they improved their tax to do this, or whatever. It's just like a basic case study story. It's promoting you through a nice way, and it's building the trust. It looks like you're simply just providing value. So once again, we'll do that, and that's 2 days later. That's on day 7. And this will be all automated, so it just happens while you're in your sleep. And then if we can do another bonus, it'll depend on how you might be running out of bonuses by now, but if you can provide another bonus, jot it down and think about it. The simple fact is, even if for now you just got started and you just got as far as here, like if you just got to, here's the thing, and here's a little bit of a bonus, that would be okay. Or even if for now you got started and it was here's the thing and here's product A. If you only got to email 1 and opt-in 1, that's fine. It's easy to add to this. It's easy to add. But the simple thing is you need to get started with it, because this will allow you to get to scale things up, and it'll happen automatically for you. You with me? Cool? Valuable? Excellent. Yes?
We've done a bit of research with our Facebook page, and when people are online, and you talk about automating this with Infusionsoft or whoever. Yeah. Is there a certain time of day that you send, like you schedule your emails to send?
Yes, good question. So the question is there a certain time of day basically to schedule the emails? The first one needs to go immediately no matter what, because they've just put their details in to get this thing. So you've got to deliver it and go, hey, here you are, we're here, it worked. Here's the stuff we promised. If you want your emails to not be caught up in the kind of purging thing in the morning, first thing in the morning, don't send them. You can then say, you say schedule for day 3 in the program, do it around about midday or early morning, late morning, like about 11 a.m. Because it's going to automatically fire those many days after. So just set it, you can set it and say deliver at 11 a.m. is perfect. If it goes into their inbox and you've just left it blank, it might go in at like midnight in the morning or like 12:01 a.m. It's going to go into their inbox. They're going to wake up. A lot of people, even before they leave the bed, they get on their phone or whatever and they clear the emails or move them to the folders and things. So you don't want to get caught up in that. You do it later. Also, what we have found with timing of emails, at the end of the day, funnily enough, like around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, people start stuffing around with small jobs. They don't want to commit to like a big long job, like an hour-long job. So they're more active on Facebook. They're more active with little emails that are just kind of like wasting time. So it's a good idea about 11 or around about like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you. So then they move into a nurture sequence. So after that, they move automatically into a nurture sequence. Basically the nurture sequence is, it might be a weekly tip, a fortnightly newsletter. You create something that you send out once in a while. An easy way to do this with a nurture sequence is, and something that we love to do that's quite cool, is we put a blog post up. Put a blog post up at least every fortnight. Email out to everyone, here's the latest blog post. You're driving people back to your site, you're getting them back in front of your stuff. It's a really easy way to do it. This is like a nice nurture sequence. Make sense? Like what we do, we have a podcast and we have a blog, so with videos. So on the podcast, there's Lisa Messenger. We've just done an interview. It's published. It's up. We'll send out to people, hey, come and check the latest podcast. It's a really cool podcast because we just provide value. The same with the blog. We send out fortnightly video tips every fortnight to our people on our database. Why? Because we're just building the relationships. We provide a hell of a lot of value, like really good stuff. It's like some of the really good, valuable content. It's a smart way to do it. We do it kind of in 2 ways: podcast, which is just like an audio blog, or just audio, and then we have a written and kind of video blog. You have a question?
Is that okay to automate RSS?
Yeah, what I want you to do here though is, is it okay to automate with RSS? What I want you to do here is be getting it's a lot of their email, because I want you to be able to promote in a controlled way. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. Whereas if it's purely RSS, you're going to have to put like promos on your blog and stuff, which is going to be like what I want it to be. Just thinking about at the moment that you've got them as an opt-in. Now we're moving them to a nurture sequence, which will be, and you could automate. It's depending if you're thinking RSS by something else that then feeds your blog. You can do that for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, straight onto your platform that then feeds iTunes and things. Yeah, totally. It's just like a feed. You can get an RSS. What's it stand for, RSS? Real simple syndication. You know, on blogs and things, you can see subscribe by RSS, and it basically gives you a URL that you can then it'll automatically send. It just syndicates information across. And the rule is, here's a rule of thumb: 10 times value, 1 times promotion. You with me? So 10 times, hey, here's value, here's value, here's value. We're building the relationships. 1 time, hey, come and check this out. Or here's our latest product, here's our latest offer. Cool? So we're always on the value-heavy side. Now what we do is we want to reactivate. So we've had our nurture that goes on and on and on. We want to reactivate from time to time. Write this one down, copy, paste, just do this. This is when, if you're doing a promotion with something, like say you've got your event coming up or whatever it is, set an early bird special for a month before it. People who book in for the early bird special, do this. So if I was to look at the early bird special, I'd say, okay, what's the date here for the early bird? And then I work from the early bird. I look at it in the calendar. I go, 2 weeks out, we need to do a promo to count it down. A week out, 3 days out, 24 hours out, and today this thing closes, like 6 hours remaining. You with me? So we promote this way. What we'll do is I'll do it like this. It says sales funnel on there. It's black on blue. So it looks like this. Here's the calendar.
Can you go back one, please?
You'll see it here. It might make more sense. So it works like, these are the promos. So say I'm going to do an email. Look at the calendar. Email promo, email 1 here goes here. 2 weeks out, 3 days out, 24 hours. Like this is closing tomorrow, counting it down. Today this thing closes. It's like 6 hours remaining. There's even cool little apps. What's the name of that one? You can put like countdown timer in your email. There's a free one that I always use. I can't remember it. I'll send it to you and I can share it if people ask. Yeah, it's a really cool one. So you put a countdown timer in your email and it counts down. So they're sitting there live counting down in the email. So I'll typically do that at least on the last one or the last 2. So it looks like this. We then go, and to make it very easy for you, you just map out the 5 emails. You've got your 2 weeks, you've got your 1 week, your 3 days. This is closing tomorrow. This is closing today. There's the countdown timer, as I said. So very simple. It's simple emails to write because you're promoting the same thing. But most people, what they'll do is they'll go to promo 1 here and we go, 2 weeks out, I've sent it. And then suddenly it's in your diary. Uh-oh, now I need to send email number 2. What am I going to write? What do I do? Quickly scramble, make it happen. Just open the 5 of them. This is Word docs. It's not that complex. This is how I do it. So I go, okay, here's what's happening. It's the same message. In this one, it's pretty much, hey, just making sure that you saw this email, this promo that we're running, that, it's coming up thing. Here it is. So it's written down below. And it's the same thing. Because typically your emails, if you're doing all right with emails, you get about 40% open rate. So we want to make sure that other people saw it. You with me? And it's an easy way. Look how easy it is to map it out. It's really easy. Just then I take those, put them into the system. I'll show you this one because it's pretty cool. This is a little bit of a brag moment here. This isn't the brag moment, but actually it is. This is a real life. This is an example of results from this exact campaign, this one here, over Christmas. So you can see this is an early bird special we did for our annual event. We run like a 2-day annual event up in Sydney. We did a promo. I followed this exact formula. Like that's the emails for it right there. The results, you can see this is like one of our payment gateways. You can see just out, like here's our kind of like 2 weeks out and little promos and some posts on social media things. Here's our week out. Don't know what happened here. And this is our like closing tomorrow 24-hour kind of spike in sales. So this is the sales dashboard, which is not bad. Like it's not a crazy one. We do have a lot of things going, but for that event, it's like whatever that is. There's probably 50 grand sitting there in sales with that exact sequence. And that's pretty much what we did to sell out the event. Cool. Everyone cool? Yep. Good. Awesome. Good? Valuable? Yes. We're going good? Everyone's alive still? I know I'm going at 100 miles an hour because I want to pile it on for you guys. Cool. Good? Okay, let's roll. Sales funnel. So now, what will happen is, that's pretty dark, isn't it, the black on blue? I'll read these out. Basically, what will happen next is people buy at certain stages. So if they've opted in and you presented that first offer to them, remember product A we had right away? You present product A to them. If they buy, they move to a different sequence. You with me? On that reactivation offer sequence just then, If they buy at any one of those steps, they move to another sequence. They don't just buy and it's over. We want to have in place for absolutely everybody that buys from you, it might be their first purchase or whatever it is, that they get the opportunities for upsells, for on-sells and upsells. They also have a bonus because we want to wow them. We want to reduce buyer's remorse. Everyone is familiar with buyer's remorse? Like someone buys something, oh yeah, what have you bought? You just bought some fancy shoes, didn't you? Lots. So she's bought some fancy shoes, clicked them, bought them online for $500 and then thought, what have I done? Uh-oh. That's buyer's remorse, the what have I done moment. So what we want to do is straight away, this is kind of like what we did before. Someone buys, after purchase, straight away, we fire off some events. Now, it doesn't matter if they're just buying online or they're buying offline. If they buy offline, fine, you just manually put them into this sequence. You put them in your database, click add to bought sequence. What happens then is, it delivers this to them, this sequence. They end up on this sequence straight away. Immediately, they get number one. Once again, number one is thank you. So it's a thanks. And then we have product B. So what you need to think about to make this work as effective as possibly is, like I said before, if you have a best-selling product, what comes next? What's something that potentially a lot of your market could be interested in? Or if you sell a range of different products, what are they likely to buy after those products? Make sense? What is a sequential way that people might buy? Or they bought this, can they upgrade on it? Or can they get some extra accessories for it? You with me? It might be something in common that generally most people, and you just want to make it easy for you, so no matter what people buy, I'll present this to them next. And that'd be an easy way to get started. You with me? We need to think about what the sequence of the ways people buy with you. Part of our role in terms of marketing, what I always look for is like, where can we give people the biggest pay rise as quickly as possible? You know, it's always like, where's the path of least resistance? If people are buying this or that's the hottest product, let's just put it in front of more people and then let's put the next one straight away in front of them and see if we can get a little spike right away. And then we just drive people to that. That's always the first point of where we want to go. So next up, we do a bonus. So if we can provide some sort of bonus, this is the after purchase. I kind of mentioned this before, I was supposed to mention it here, but like if say somebody bought and it was like you bought that bicycle, now you can bring it in. Did you know you can bring it in next 6 months or whatever for a free service? Or it's like, hey, as a little extra, we're going to provide you with this. If you can provide an unexpected bonus after people buy, they're going to freaking love you. They're going to go, what? No one does that. Just put it in the system so that absolutely everyone who buys gets presented with an upsell opportunity and they also get presented with this bonus. You're going to build trust. The next thing we do is, and this once again is going to, you might be able to do another bonus or not, and it'll vary for different businesses, but typically we'll try add another bonus and then we'll ask for a referral so that everyone that buys is presented with an opportunity to upsell. The 80-20 rule is going to apply. I can tell you it's simple, I don't know, what's science or whatever the hell it is, it's mathematics or something. 20% of people that buy the first product are going to buy the next one. You're going to give yourself a little spike, a little increase in cash flow. The next thing we do is we build the relationship so that they're happy, they love us, and then we make sure that everybody is invited to refer a friend in some way or another. You might need to think about whether it's some sort of promo that you can give them that they can refer. Even if you don't have like an initial offering that you can give to people to say, refer a friend and they'll get this discount or you'll get this discount or whatever, just ask them. Say, hey, if you value this as much as, you know, we liked working with you, we love working with cool people and we'd really appreciate, you know, we love referrals just as much as anyone. A good way to ask referrals is do the little butt kiss, then ask. So you say, we love working with people like you. You're an amazing customer. If you know others like you, we'd love it if you refer them to us. And then if you want to expand, you can go on and say, a big part of our business is relying on referrals. You can even justify and say, we love referrals because our entire focus, we like to spend our time helping our clients, working with our clients to help them, you know, rather than chasing new business or whoever it is. Cool? Then what do? Where do they go? Back to nurture. So you get the idea, right? Everyone goes back to nurture. Cool? Couple of quick tips. How are we going for time down the back there? We're good. 10 minutes, something like that. 5 minutes. Okay, I'll be quick. What we have here is a couple of tips here for you guys to think about, because this sort of stuff, all of these sequences, I want you to get this from this too. If you build this sequence and say it makes you an extra $1,000 in a month, the real kicker is that sequence is then built. You with me? So then we look at the traffic and we go, okay, how do we just drive more traffic to it? You don't have to build the sequence again. You with me? The thing's freaking automated. It now can run. This is where it gets beautiful, because the thing can just happen over and over. So now we're just like the pilot on autopilot, where we go, let's let it run. Let's see if we can push a bit more traffic into it, and the results we're going to get out here. And then we keep tweaking each of those first columns that we did. How can we increase each one of those to get it? It might be a 1% increase in each column. Suddenly you got like an extra 5 clients a month. So the thing is, it's worth putting this together. Even though right now it might look like, oh wow, it's a lot of work. As I said before, forget about the techie stuff behind it, because that's where people get confused. Draw it on paper, as we have just done. Draw it on paper, map it out, you've got it. You can pay someone a couple of $100 and they'll put it in the system for you, but you just need to architect it. That's where the genius is. When you do these kind of emails, for better open rates, 2 things for the open rates. Remember so this is a screenshot of my Gmail inbox and a screenshot of my iPhone. So you have 2 subject lines. Remember this. You can also use these little things. We get a little spike in open. What are these things called again? Yeah, emojis, but they have another name for them online. I can't remember the name. I've got another link. I'll share that one with you too, where you can get these free. Put a little bit of code in, it makes that. It's like a little surfer appears, or like a little arrow or whatever, because it's just different. So first subject line is this, especially when you're doing those promotion sequence. See how I've got one there? This happens in 2 hours. Uh-oh, what happens in 2 hours? Something's happening, something's closing, something's ending. You know how we do if we do the 2 weeks out, the 1 week out, in those put, 1 week remaining. It's pretty straightforward, because people are like, oh, what's 1 week remaining? Your second subject line is the first line of the email. You with me? People are seeing it. You also build a reputation. By the more people that open your emails, it's like the more that your emails are going to be served to the right places by Gmail. You're going to avoid spam folders and things like that. So think about the 2 subject lines, the first line and the subject line count now. People see both. So make them both a bit interesting, a bit of a hook. This will increase with open rates. To increase with click-through rates, depending on what you put in the email, if you want to drive them to a blog for, say, a nurture sequence, put an image in it. If you're driving people to a video, see the big fat play button? People can't resist clicking a big fat play button. That's just an image. It's not a video. That's an image of the video. So they click it, and it's just linked to our blog. Sends them back to the blog. Also make it obvious that it's a video. If it just looks like an image, you get less people clicking. But even if you have an email just with an image in it, there was one I was going to share another example that had Francisca ice skating. It said, just because it was for a written blog, and I just had an image, and it said, right before Francisca fell over, on the thing. And then people click it as they go through to the blog. Creating to increase engagement. So the first one here was increasing open rates. This is to increase click-through. Now to increase engagement. If you're sending to a blog or something like that, even if it's written, create a little index. This little index will increase engagement and people will want to read. So straight away people see this and they go, how can you align your names with your brand? Oh, what's that? I better check that out. That's at 2 minutes. So I'll hang around till then. And then they see this, 3 minutes, are you sitting in someone else's box? What's that? I better have a look. It increases engagement. It increases people watching through. You need people engaging with your stuff. Cool? That is Francisca and myself in our work outfits, and we're just with our company vehicles. Yeah. They're the company vehicles there, and playing around on a flat day. Was this valuable for everybody? Yeah. Can I get a little hand up as an indicator? Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks again to you guys for putting on such an awesome event and having us as well.
It was my pleasure. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys. Christo. Good stuff, huh? Yeah, excellent. What did you love? What did you learn? What do you want to share? What sort of questions have we got for Christo while he's up here?
Oh yeah, fire away.
We could almost do a selfie while we're up here.
Oh, I think we should.
We will. I'll work my way around.
Can you talk a little bit about Google Analytics?
Yes.
That kind of thing?
Yeah. There's a big topic. Google Analytics. Oh, what do you want me to say? No, I love Google Analytics, but I only look at a few things. I typically look at like where the traffic's coming from. We could almost do a little video. I could create a 3-minute video, share it with you, and you can pass it on. Like there's these 3 kind of key areas I look at. It's like traffic that's coming through, referring sources, and so on. And I look at the behaviour on the site. I do love it for that. I think it's like flow. It's something down there. Do you know that part?
I was just looking at it and saying how long they're on the site.
Yeah.
Maybe I was actually thinking more for a lot of people haven't heard of it.
Oh yeah, well, Google Analytics in general. You should all have Google Analytics installed on your site because it's free to operate. You know, it's installed. It takes a few minutes for someone who knows what they're doing, a web developer for you. Then it's free to run. You can just log in. You can see how many people are visiting your site. You can see where they're clicking and flowing through to, which is really, totally valuable. And yeah, if you also need to know that the whole thing with mobile too, like we get about 40% of all of our traffic on mobile devices. So it has to, and just tells us it's crystal clear in front of us so that you see the reality of things like that and know that, well, of all of our advertising spend and that, if we want to, last year, as I said, with one page is doing about 115 grand. Another page we did about 15 grand in advertising spend. We'd pretty much be leaving like 40% of that on the table if we didn't have things adjusted for mobile. And we wouldn't know that without analytics. So definitely worth having Google Analytics, yeah. Good question.
And for the VIP guys that don't have it, the ninjas do it for us. And every single Monday, the ninjas send us through the Google Analytics stuff for all of our websites. Yeah.
Did you had a question here too?
Oh, yeah, mate.
With the opt-in section, I noticed like the new thing seems to be always on the right-hand side of the page or at the very top.
Yes.
What you guys had.
Yeah.
We've got like that pop-up at 2 minutes. I know.
Yeah.
Like, is that effective or not really?
You're gonna piss people. Like the whole thing with it's like someone trying to walk into your store and you go, wait, give me your email and your name and I'll let you in. You do get people, but you're gonna piss people off. Like, just make it like what we have there. It's just sitting there. It's not a pop-up or anything. You can. The most effective pop-up ones I'll see are on close, but it needs to be systemized so that it's actually when they do close. But it's safe if we were like spending a lot of money to drive people to a web page to sell a product, and then the people go to click close. If a pop-up pops up which says, hey, would you like to receive this free guide or something if you're in the market for whatever it is, that will at least then you'll get a few into your database that would have left, so that as they get to that point 6 months down the track, then you might have stayed in contact with them. Yeah, it's a good question. Pop-ups kind of.
Yeah, you got to be sexy about it.
Yeah, you got to be sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like a barrier to entry. Like if you do that whole stop thing, just being douchebag, and people go,
it is.
I don't like that.
What's a cool idea too is you can put on your blog pages, like how I had the blog post at the bottom. You can put an opt-in on your actual blog, like in the blog. So if people read the blog, they get to the bottom and there's either a form or it's a link to click it, which will create a pop-up. They work quite well. Yeah.
Beauty. Dan?
You run monthly events. Should you change the nurture funnel for each time? If someone keeps coming to the same event, getting the same tip.
So Dan runs monthly events, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like if they've just bought, you mean, and then they get a bonus straight away, you're going to have to mix it up a little bit. If they're coming over and over and over again, yours, if it's the same people coming over and over and again, they probably already love you a bit as well. Because they do, of course they do. It's like everyone loves us, No. If you can mix it up, it's going to take a little bit of work for you to do it. But what you could also do, here's a really good little tip for everyone. In your sequences, if you need more content, if you've got something like a blog or a podcast, often what we'll do for the bonus is we say, here's a hot, a really cool podcast with Lisa Messenger or whatever, have the link to it here, check it out as an extra value. So it actually drives them and gets them familiar with engaging with your content as well. So it's an easy way, then you don't have to invent something like you just look which was a blog that got the most likes and share that one in there too. Yeah, good one.
Good one. Any more questions? Yeah, Karen.
What's the timing? I've got September and I've got a sequence set up, but I thought maybe they might be too far apart.
It sounds like it. The timing, so what we did with the timing, you saw how at the start there's a little bit of intensity. It's like the first kind of 7 days. They're a little bit hit with stuff. Then we spread it out. Because the nurture sequence, we don't want to piss them off. The nurture sequence, like for us, we do a fortnightly tip at the moment that we send out via email. People, we've asked our database, would you like it more frequently? And the majority said yes, they'd like it weekly. So I said, good. We're going to keep it fortnightly. Exactly, we want more demand. But Yeah, initially, no, you want to hit them a little bit. Initially, make sure like the immediate offer is there straight away. They're going to like you, like the majority are the hottest right then. So initial offers right away, bonus right away. Hey, here's the sort of treatment you can expect from us, just to get them familiar with you too. And because they've just engaged with you, they're going to be more likely to open that email and then get trained on the kind of emails you deliver. Yeah, it's a good question.
Great question. All right, any more for Christo? John.
In the email process, are you ever like redirecting them back to the website? So you send
Yeah, totally. Like with the blog and stuff. No, we're sending them to the blog page, or we're sending, if they click on an offer, obviously that's going back to the website to get in front of that offer. Or like I said, if we're sharing a blog post, like we're always sending them back. The nurture sequence, every email pretty much sends them back. So like that video example, it had the email's really short. It's like, here's what we've got. We have that little index, so at minute 1, minute 3, minute and here's a video. That's all that's in the email. So it's really short and sharp to the point. They can scan the index, go, yeah, I'm interested in that, or I'm not interested. And then if they click on anything in that, it's driving them back to our blog. The blog's obviously back in front of the products and back in front of the things to engage with, yeah.
And I think I shared it on our closed Facebook group regarding, I think it was James Stremko, I listened to something he said about your website's like the body of this octopus, and you've got all these tentacles that go out, and everything is always bringing you back to that, to your website.
Bring them home.
So that's, you lead everything leading back to the website.
It's also then going to increase your views and things, which then Google likes and thinks you're more popular, which will give you a little bit of boost as well. You guys want one little hot tip, and then I'll finish up. This one might give you a little instant pay rise. I wasn't going to share this, but would you like it now that I've given it?
Anyway, thanks very much, Christo.
See ya. Yeah, that was it. I should have done that actually. No, on your About Us page, something that we've done, which I've split test About Us pages, where we've just put our dry profiles, professional history, and so on. This is one for you guys to just go away and do. Your About Us page, professional history, background, blah, 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 versus a page where I put the business vision at the top. So our business vision is to transform like 1 million business owners' lives through different touch points, and to change it. Well, we have that on the top of the page because people engage with a vision. So on your profile page or your About Us page, because typically most traffic will arrive on your home page, whether you like it or not, they go to your About Us page or your team page or whatever you call it on your website, that people want to know who they're buying from. On that page, put your business vision at the top, put a little bit of personality into your profiles, like I love tennis on the weekend and I'm just crazy about sushi, whatever it is. People like to buy from people, as Francisca was saying earlier, the whole like personality thing. On the bottom of that page, put if you have a best-selling product or your entry product, put it at the bottom of your About Us page, because that page, my friends, is one of your biggest sales pages. You with me? It's like your traffic's going there, so it'll give you, that one should give you an instant little pay rise, hopefully.
There you go. That's pretty cool, hey? Round of applause for Christo. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, mate.
Awesome. So do that, hey? Your About Us page. That's obviously Christo knows what he's talking about, so just make a little tweak, could make a big difference.